Welcome to Complete Kids Online, friendly discussions about autism and other developmental disabilities. Learn how working together is working better, one conversation at a time.
Hello, welcome to Complete Kids Online. I'm Gina.
I'm Bob.
And we're joined here today by Tasha. Tasha is one of our BCBAs across all of our clinics.
Tasha is the BCBA.
The BCBA of BCBAs. Tasha, tell us a little bit about what a BCBA is.
So BCBA is a board certified behavior analyst. And a board certified behavior analyst is someone who has worked with or who's completed a degree, a master's degree in behavior analysis or a related field with a course sequence in behavior analysis. And they have completed the newest requirements or 2,000 hours of experience hours working hands-on with the BCBA in the field.
How long does that take, Tasha, from start to finish, generally?
Generally, somewhere between 18 and 24 months is where most BCBAs meet all the requirements and are eligible to sit for their boards.
And that's after your undergrad?
It is.
Got it. So we have a program now that is an RBT can become a BCBA that we're trying to grow our own BCBAs. Can you just talk a couple sentences about that?
Sure. So in our program, if you come in as an RBT and you choose to complete your master's degree, we will provide supervision for your 2,000 hours and a place for you to get those 2,000 hours and to help you along the way of becoming a BCBA. Many students decide to do online master's degree programs and then do their supervision with a company like ours.
And I know we also talked a little bit about maybe recruiting similar disciplines, one being like a special ed teacher. I know you don't know the exact qualifications coming over, but is there anything that you can kind of address about that? I know a lot of teachers these days are not exactly jazzed about the way that career is going. I know that from, my wife is a teacher. So, and I know we talk about maybe, talking some of those peeps to come over and maybe think about becoming a BCBA. Could you just talk about that briefly?
Sure. So if you're a teacher and you have a master's degree in special education, you can add a course sequence, which means probably it's between, I think it's about 8 classes right now, 7 to 8 classes. And then you would be able to start your experience hours when you start your course sequence. And your hours will still take 18 to 24 months, but your degree requirements will be done much more quickly.
Oh, awesome.
How about what does a typical day look for you as a BCBA?
There is no typical day for BCBA. So if you love change and you love never knowing what the day will hold or what it's going to throw at you, this is definitely a career for you.
Well, we know that firsthand. As you started the beginning of this podcast, you were talking about what a crazy and hectic day it was. So we appreciate you coming on. But that is a testament to how crazy the days and different the days can be.
It is. We work with kids here, so you never know what you're going to get and how, if they're going to come in happy or come in sleepy or what that's going to look like. So lots and lots of change during the day.
So it sounds like teachers might make a good transition over to BCBAs.
Oh, in our environment for sure.
Cool. I know you guys write programs. So we, as the marketing people, we know, a bit about ABA, but not all the technical nitty gritty stuff. So kind of tell us about what a program might look like for a child. What kind of goals are you targeting in ABA?
So it varies, obviously, from child to child, but we work on everything. So we work on everything from enhancing communication skills. We work on following instructions and work on using that to eventually work on safety skills. We work on potty training skills and hand washing skills. eating. So really, ABA covers the entire day of what, if you look at everything that your child does in a day, we work on each aspect of that, and making it a little more accessible for your child.
Speaking of potty training, is there any tips you can give a parent, kind of obviously bring them to us that will help with that, but any homework or any, things to be aware of for a kid going through ABA training?
Sure. There's a great book out there called Potty Training in Less Than a Day, and that's a good one to read, and it has lots of good tips in it. Potty training is just about practice, and helping, getting your child into the bathroom 100 times in a day and giving them all of those opportunities to practice rather than taking them in once every hour. So we really, in ABA, break everything down into tiny, tiny little steps. So potty training, we would teach in increments of maybe 5 minutes and build that up. So start slow, start where your child is, and then that helps them get where they need to go.
Cool. I know that for a lot of parents, potty training is, a big issue. If a parent is dealing with, huge meltdowns and huge tantrums every time it's time to try, what kind of tips would you have for them?
Step back, make the bathroom a fun place. There's no need to rush it. So if your child is upset every time, they're starting to have those meltdowns every time you say, let's go to the bathroom, then introduce some times in the bathroom where you just go and have fun. We've been working on that here in the clinic that I'm in today, and we've propped the doors open to the bathroom and moved in some of the most fun stuff in the place. So it doesn't have to be just a place where maybe a child would perceive it as work. It needs to be a place that they also perceive as being a lot of fun as well.
Good tip.
How about some holiday tips? We have the holidays coming up, not necessarily potty training, but just in general. We have some schedule changes, maybe some sensory overload, et cetera, et cetera.
Families coming over. It's noisy. There's lots of new foods.
I think just to prepare your child, prepare your family. Let your child take it at their own pace. Maybe they want to be in their bedroom, and that's okay in the beginning. And always keep presenting and representing those opportunities to come out where the people are. Some children may do really well with headphones to kind of block out some of that noise and some of the kind of hustle and bustle. But really just keep all of the instructions small. Try to keep the workload very light for the children, and just focus on letting them take it at their own pace.
How about if a parent is seeing these signs in their child and seeing that they're having trouble with transitions and routines, what's kind of the first steps that they may want to take if they're looking into maybe starting ABA therapy?
Well, maybe start before that, Tasha. Maybe what are some of those signs?
So if you notice that your child maybe they're not making a lot of eye contact with you. Maybe when they pick up cars to play, they're playing more with the wheels than, rolling the car across the room. Maybe they don't look all the time when you call their name. So those may be some really early signs of autism. But a psychologist is the person that you would want to see at that point. That is the person who would diagnose autism, to have a great conversation with you about the signs and symptoms that you're seeing, and then take it from there. That's where ABA referrals come from psychological evaluations. So once that piece of it has been looked at and your child has a diagnosis for autism, then they would be eligible for ABA services, and typically a psychologist would make that recommendation.
And then I know I stepped on Gina's question a little bit, but then so from there, okay, we see these signs. Just take us through what happens at that point. I'm a mom. I see some of these things happening. I want to go to the next steps.
Usually your pediatrician will probably recommend that you get an appointment with a psychologist, and the psychologist would do an assessment and look at the signs of autism, and they would make the diagnosis of autism or something else at that point. So once that diagnosis has been made, and if you do have a diagnosis of autism, then you would be eligible for the ABA services.
And we at Complete Kids have that department. I'm doing a shameless plug right now. We do have that department, correct?
We do have a psychology department. We have a speech department. Maybe your child just has a speech delay, and that's something, it's a little different. It doesn't qualify them for the services of ABA, but maybe a speech therapist is who they need to see, or an occupational therapist is who they need to see. Even a physical therapist, but probably not in this case. We do have all of those services available.
Awesome. I have one last one.
Go for it.
So, BCBAs work closely with the RBTs. That's kind of the boots on the ground for the BCBA. So, we're always looking for RBTs. What kind of person and what kind of personality traits make a good RBT?
Someone who loves kids. In our setting, our RBTs work with children. So we work with children up to about 10 years of age, between about 2 and 10. So I think that is the foundational skill. And then someone who really wants to see the children progress. It's a tough job. So you certainly have to be willing to put in the time, put in the effort, learn a new language of ABA and what that means. And just keep on working, because some days will be great and some days will be challenging. But hopefully all those come together, and the children are making progress, and that's what we're all here for.
Absolutely.
I always say I can't do what our people do.
No. Yeah.
Patience, flexibility. Yes, all of those things.
No check.
Working.
Thanks so much for being here, Tasha.
Yeah, we appreciate the help. It sounds like the clinic is really rocking and rolling today. So we appreciate you taking out your time to chat with us for a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye, Tasha.
Bye.
To continue the conversation, visit the links to our website, Facebook page, or Instagram in the comments.